Hello everyone, welcome to our home. We hope you like it here. We hope you're happy to see here. We are here for another episode of Chef Teddy and Paul, and it's going to be great. I know you've all really been enjoying our strange combinations. We had the Mountain Dew chicken, and we had the fried various different meats sushi rolls, and the Doritos chicken from a couple weeks ago, the s'mores dessert sandwiches, some different things. We've got another one for you here today. Now, there are things that really go well together. Steak and eggs go well together. Chicken and waffles, apparently. There are things that you don't think go well together, like coffee and steak. But as it turns out, coffee can make a really amazing marinade for a great steak. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're making a coffee cola steak marinade skirt steak. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now the catch is that in order for us to make it, we are going to have to go back in time. And that's kind of difficult, but I think we can do it. I think we can make that happen. We've got the Wayback Machine, and we've got the 1.21 gigawatts of power available for the DeLorean out in the garage. So yeah, let's do that. Let's send ourselves back to yesterday so that we can come back to today and make our food. You ready, Teddy? Let's do it. Hello everyone, welcome to yesterday. Hope your tomorrow is going well. This is the prep kitchen and we're getting ready for what we're making. You know what we're making. We talked about it. Or we will talk about it. We will have talked about it. We will have had talked about it. Time travel is very difficult. Anyway, let's get ourselves started. First thing we need to do is we need to make our coffee. So I got myself a coffee filter here. I am not a coffee person, so I know you're supposed to cut these to fit into your coffee maker. And I have a small one, so you can see that over there? It's right here. Just gonna stick our little filter in there to do its gig. We need 2 tablespoons of, got some Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Here, that's a good one. People like that. And it smells really good. Always love the smell of coffee. Hate the flavor. Okay. Supposedly to the recipe of this, every half of a tablespoon is a quarter cup. So I have a full cup here, 2 tablespoons. That should work out perfectly for what we're making. It is supposed to be a strong coffee, so let's sucker going. Alright, and while that's doing that, I'm going to cut our garlic. We need 2 pieces of minced garlic. Oh, Teddy! Ah! Who's little Teddy? He's fine. Let's get this here peeled. Nothing wrong with a little bit more garlic. Oh, oh my gosh, it's lots of pieces of garlic. Is this 2? Oh, that one is 2. Jeez. We're supposed to use 2 large cloves. It seems like I have pulled off what I thought were 2 large cloves and turned out to be 2 large clusters. That's fine. Just means a little bit more time in getting the skin off them, but I can fast forward for y'all. Sounds like the coffee's done. That's good. I can turn it off because we don't really want it to be hot. So we'll flip off the heat and let it cool down a little bit, because we are making that as part of our marinade. And that has to go in the refrigerator, so you don't want it to be hot going in the refrigerator. That's bad. Maybe I'll run it through one more time. That way we definitely have strong coffee. There was a couple of different recipes that Teddy had. And one of them was for using coffee grounds as a rub, a dry rub, on your steak. I don't know, it seemed a little bit too adventurous for me, because, I don't know, that gritty coffee flavor like that, it probably does taste good, but I'm not ready for that yet. Let me try this one first, and then if it goes well, we'll give the other one a try. Somewhere else down the line. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet and open air, take you there somewhere. Well, there we have it. We have our garlic, and we are ready to put together our collection as soon as this cools down. 1.5 cups of cola. I'm using Pepsi. Doesn't matter which one you use. I bought some Coke for this recipe, but then I remembered I had some Pepsi from way back when, and figured I should use this first before dipping into the brand new one. Before you ask, yes, I checked to see if I had any, but I was looking for Coke, not for Pepsi, so I looked right past the Pepsi bottle. And ended up buying a whole unnecessary bottle of Coke. But it's fine. I'll find a use for it at some point down the road. Half cup. No, that's a 1/3 cup. That's a 1/4 cup. And that's 1/2 cup. Besides the fact that I like Pepsi more than I like Coke, so works for me. Alright. And the next thing that we're going to do, we've got our skirt steak. Skirt steak! And Teddy says that this next step we should be using kitchen scissors, but we don't have kitchen scissors. We just have regular scissors, and they're not properly sterilized or properly sharpened or anything like that, so we're just going to use a knife, and that's fine. Not going to make much of a difference in the end. It just makes it a little easier if you had kitchen scissors. So take our skirt steak. All right, I'll cut your steak with the grain. We don't have a very wide steak here. We have two less wide ones. So it's not going to be very long strips. Going to be more like medallions. That's okay. I'm going to take these pieces, any of them that are extra thick, not like this one. This one's about the right thickness. And we're going to pound them down to get them to the right thickness. All right, great. So, now what are we putting in this? Well, it's very easy. 1.5 cups of Coke. 1.5 cups of cola, I should have said. Half cup coffee. Specifically strong coffee. 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. 1.5 teaspoons of fresh ground pepper. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of rosemary. Our minced garlic. And 1/4 teaspoon of Louisiana hot sauce. Now this is similar to Tabasco, but it's a little sweeter and a little thicker. So that's really just for flavor, so get that in there. Swirl this all around, mix it all up real good. All right. And we put our marinated steaks inside, or our steaks to be marinated. Get them pushed in there so they're all pretty much covered. Depending on the container you're using, that's going to be easier said than done maybe. And then lid it up. And pop it in the refrigerator. And we'll be right there in a moment. So, here we are. Back to today again. Still having fun, right? Of course. Our marinade has marinated. This has been in there since yesterday. And as you can see, our marinade is done. We need to take this off. We're going to remove it to a paper plate covered with a paper towel. And then we're going to dry thoroughly. Patting them dry. And we're just going to put them on this other paper towel. Already smells really good. Okay, now that our meat is dried, the next thing that we want to do is we're going to take the marinade and we're going to strain that into a pan. All right. And we're going to turn that up on some heat. And we're going to reduce that for about 10 minutes, medium heat. Just get it a little thicker. We're going to use it for a little bit of a juice. as the steak is finished. Now we're going to turn the heat up on our griddle now as well. You can do this on the grill outside, which is fine. You won't have quite as much control over the heat out there, but it's definitely something that you can do on a open fire grill. But I think I can achieve the same flavors without the charcoal on our griddle here, which is pretty much what we've been doing with our griddle all along. Just get it heated up, and in the meantime, we're gonna find a place to lay out our meats all even, which means another plate, I guess. Those just give all one layer so it's not on top of each other like it is now. And there we go. That's good. You see, we have 2 plates. What we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take one of my containers. I'm gonna mix some salt. With a pinch of cayenne pepper. Just like one little dab. Maybe a little more than that. There we go. Now what we want to do, you want to mix that up. You see, you got all the little grains are a little bit pink now. And we're going to take it and we're going to salt our meats. Liberally. I thought about using rock salt or kosher salt for this because it does improve a little bit of the texture, but I really wanted to be able to blend it with the cayenne, and I didn't have the proper kind of cayenne to mix with the rock salt to make it like that, so we're doing it this way. And then everybody flips over. And we do it again. In cooking, it's almost always the case that you put more salt on than you really think you should. Same thing with any kind of rub type of a dry seasoning, because a lot of it does juice off into the pan, is lost in the process. So if you really want the flavor to stick, you have to use a little bit more than what you think is probably correct. That's why normally you get the expression to season liberally, which just means season a lot. All right. That should do. What is happening over here? It's super interesting. The reduction is reducing, but it's also the cola is deciding to do what cola does, and that's to bubble up. But that's fine. Just let it do its thing. All right, I think our pan is probably ready at this point. Let's see. Yep. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to take our meat and we're just going to grill it. Simple as that. after about 3 or 4 minutes, you can start flipping them. Yeah, look at those beautiful grill marks. Now, one thing to look at, it's a really interesting thing about skirt steak, is that skirt steak kind of has its own indicator about when it's done. When the outside starts to look shiny and you can see the juices starting to come out the top, that means that it's done. It's a really interesting thing about skirt steak. So if you start seeing that shine, you know that they're done and you can pull them off. The smaller pieces are, of course, going to be done first. You see this one here. You can really see that shimmer. Well, that wasn't very hard. That was almost a quick bite in and of itself. Let's see what we have here. Let me show you this. See how nice and pink that is inside there? Looks so good. Yeah. Yeah. That's got a really nice flavor. I mean, I can taste the coffee. You get that little hint of the bitterness. And the sweetness from the cola. That's really nice flavor. Also, I should have mentioned before that after you finish cooking on the grill, let the meat rest just for 5 minutes. Let it sit there and cool down and let the juices settle in throughout. And also remember that the meat will continue to cook even after you've taken it off the heat for a little bit while. That's just internal temperature continuing to cook. Ow. That's really good. This recipe is really easy. And the thing that takes the longest is the marinade, but of course it does because marinades always takes the longest time. But the prep work is fast. The cooking is fast. It's just easy. So if you make this, I hope you like it very much. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Chef Teddy and Paul. We hope to see you again right here next week. So, in the meantime, remember, eat well, cook lots, and no one should die hungry. Bye! After we finish, we should go back in time and eat it again. Because it's that good. I mean, we go back in time, we might as well because we know how, right?